Okay. This is going to be hard.
The dreamer provides.
You know what you can do? You can just stand here and wait for all the flames to spawn. Give me a second, let me just get some work done. at least I got the glove. Well, that was interesting. So this is holy shit, dude! I wasn't expecting the ramp up difficulty from tier what's it, tier 3 to tier 4, but this is tier 4. Holy shit! And you can actually scale it even higher, and I'm not even sure if I want to do that. So so the next tier is actually I'll show you later. I might just do it for fun. You want me to do it and watch me die? I don't even think I'll actually get to the boss fight. Like, I think the mobs will be so hard that it will be just pretty impossible. You wanna see it happen? wait a second, let me... Okay, let's... how about I give it a shot? You guys you guys get to have fun watching this shit go down. Okay, let's store this somewhere. Okay. Oops. Where is my breach stuff? Okay, so the way you can make Xesht even more difficult is so you wanna see this shit happen? Let's just... I'm pretty sure I'll get stomped. Anyway, I've unlocked everything, so you know I've got nothing to prove. It's just for fun. Let's see. Let's buy a invite. But this is kind of cheap now. I'm pretty sure he mispriced it. Time to throw away 37 exalts. Oh my god. So let's see. What level is the zone if I do this? Oh, it goes up to 82. Really? It doesn't go up beyond that? So 82 is the highest? Can't be, right?
Speak.
So +1, +1, +1, +1, +1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh! I guess we... Oh. All we can do is like difficulty 4. You can't do 6. Okay.
What is it?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's... This is the one level up, I guess. You can only go one level more of difficulty. I think I'll die. I still think I'll die. Fuck it. Fuck it, let's go. the accelerated one. Only 2 breach rings, really? Oh, what? Normally it's 3. Oh. Okay. Welcome to the pain zone. Okay, he's in a very nice corner which I can't get to. Give me all the purples. Give me the blues, I'm out of mana. Okay, and I got the glove again. Guys, T4, T5. I did it. I guess I figured out the boss fight already. And the funny thing is that if you cancel his shit, he doesn't do the slam thing. So, I don't know, maybe I got lucky. You know, just sometimes RNG, right? Well, that's cool. Xesht 3-4. So this is Xesht 3 and Xesht 4. So early on was 3 and this was 4. So that's cool. That's cool. I think I made a mistake. I've been accidentally increasing the rank of Xesht by 1 for no reason. The first one is actually rank 0, tier 0, and this is tier 4, right? It's not. It doesn't start at tier 1. It starts at tier 0. So yeah. So this is the real 3 and this is the real 4. Oh, that's cool. I made my money back too, because this is actually more than the invite. Wow. Alright, yeah, the build pretty much done. That was fun. Actually, like figuring out what to do. I think look at this. Chayula is amazing for bosses. Holy shit! You remember I ran out of pots, right? All I did was run around, look, and pick out all these little things, and then back to full. In the boss and vulnerability phases, you can just do pure recovery and stuff. Alright. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. The same. I'm not gonna cover. Maybe I should just cover like the final closing statement of the build. All right. So this is the gas arrow Chayula monk. How it scales damage is going Death's Harp for the 5 projectiles. So gas arrows can shotgun. You can see like these 5 arrows that you shoot can all explode independently, and all the independent explosions can overlap onto the same target, leading to shotgun on the mob. You can have as many projectiles as possible. The number of projectiles the more number of projectiles you have, the more it will shotgun. All right. So here's the idea I had. So I was thinking of how when I looked at this skill, I was thinking to myself, there's actually a really cheap way to scale this, and that's through Death's Harp. Now everyone's telling me that Death's Harp is a stupid idea, and even Ru too. And the answer is that it's actually not, because if you look at, so when I discovered this while playing my monk. When I was playing my Ellie based monk, I realized that fizz damage has the problem of, the only real way to scale damage on a weapon itself is mostly fizz rolls. But the problem with fizz rolls is that it ends up becoming a slave to the skills conversion, right? So for example, if you look at gas arrow, the skill converts it to fire, and fire is kind of like one of the more meh kinds of damage types, because there's not really much you get out of it, right? You can ignite, that's pretty much it, right? But when it comes to lightning, you can have both electrocute, and you can have both electrocute and shock. Shock gives you an increased damage taken, so the mobs take more damage, and then electrocute basically disables them for 4 seconds once the meter builds up to maximum. And therefore lightning is actually a very strong damage type. The thing is, if you go a fizzbow, you can never scale lightning, right? Because if you go a fizzbow, most of the scaling is going to be like fire, because that's 100% conversion to fire. If you go and look at gas arrow, it tells you that explosion. Sorry, here it says here, the explosion converts 100% physical damage to fire damage. So if you want to go flat damage on your bow, it actually there isn't really high values of flat on bow itself. In fact, the flat values on bow for a decently crafted bow is kind of mid. And so if you really want to scale lightning, the bow that actually best suits its purposes is a Death's Harp. And because the Death's Harp can pretty much give you 5 extra projectiles. If you see here, I've got 4 plus 1, so that's 5, which will give you a total of 6 projectile count. So you go from 1 projectile to 6, which is a 600% damage multiplier, right? 1 to 6, 600 damage multiplier with 500% more damage. And so when you have that sort of setup, you have to ask yourself, how am I going to then scale flat? And the interesting thing is, when I was playing Monk as well, is I realized that a lot of flat sources you're going to get comes from other pieces, right? So for my Staff Monk, a lot of this coming from my rings and my gloves. And the interesting thing is that for bow, it also comes from your quiver. So you can get a pretty decent amount of flat from your quiver, your rings, and your gloves. And there are ways to scale flat on rings even further. You can go a breach ring, and a breach ring can roll lightning damage, correct? And you can get the quality up to 50% instead of 20%. So the range here goes even higher. It goes from what was it? It will go from 1 to 50. Now it's like 3 to 75, 2 to 50. And now it's 3 to 75. Same with this side. And you can scale it even further by going something like Ingenuity. So Ingenuity means increased bonuses gained from equipped rings. You have rings that give you pretty insane amounts of flat because it's scaling the quality up to 50% of lightning, and then you're basically adding a 1.74 multiplier on that, right? So you get a lot of flat from this combination. You also get additional flat from the quiver itself, and then also from the gloves, right? So all in all, the amount of flat you're getting can allow you to hit 57k DPS on a Death's Harp, right? And Death's Harp is a cheap starter weapon, right? If you were to ask someone to start if you were to make me start tomorrow and I had to start from scratch, I would definitely play Gas Arrow, and the first thing I would get is a Death's Harp, right? And because the damage scaling is just absurd, right? So the damage scaling of this, you just look at this, the explosion here, the damage per second is 71,000, right? So on the explosions itself, multiplied by the number of but the number of arrows. So if I have 6 arrows, it's multiplied by this, 300 and something thousand. Yeah, 6 arrows. Wait, what? No, it's more than that. I can't. My math sucks. About 4.2 for 420. Yeah. So you notice the DPS I have is actually pretty significant, and this is all coming from a devs hub, right? This is a 1x weapon, right? There are ways to get the additional arrows. So normally devs hub will give you +4 arrow count, but in this case you're getting +5 because you have the corruption, right? There are 2 corruption outcomes that can give you +1 arrows. One is the implicit, not implicit, enchant. The enchant gives you +1 arrows on top, and there's another corruption outcome, which is to rank up one of your rolls on the on the item. So in this case, when you rank up bow attacks fire 3 additional projectiles, it goes to 4. So that's how I get 5 projectiles. It's a very easy craft to get to actually accomplish. For new players, what I would suggest you do is once you get enough currency, you get all the basics of the of this build working. Getting your devs hub to +5 arrow count is your priority. So you buy loads of devs hubs, and what you're going to do is you're just going to 2-socket it, and you're going to vow it, right? In the hopes that you get +1 arrow. And once you get +1 arrow, that's your endgame weapon right there. You're not going to change the weapon out at all, right? And you want to socket in elemental damage for attacks instead of flat damage. Flat damage is only great at starting levels. But once you get to a point where you're scaling damage, percentage elemental damage is much better, but it's a bit more expensive. Because most of the flat is going to come from your rings and from your gloves and your quiver, as I have described. Okay, so now that you know how to scale defenses damage cheaply, where does your defenses come from? And the thing about Chayula Monk that you're noticing right now is that I don't really have much in the way of mitigation. I have a decent amount of hit pool. So if you look at this, I have 2.1k ES, 1.5k life or 1.6k life, and 900 mana. And in total, if you look at my total EHP pool, this is about 4.6k. 4.6k is my total life pool, right? Which is about the same as someone who is a warrior that's invested into strength, or any decently tanky class that's not a ranger, right? So 4.5k EHP is not too bad. But what makes it strong is the fact that you have the ability to recuperate or recover this amount during boss fights itself. There are 2 ways you accomplish this. The first way is through your flask. You have instant flask, which pretty much bypasses the downside of Mind Over Matter. So you have, let's say, 30% recovery applied instantly. This is 20%, so that 50% of your flask is going to be recovered instantly. Same thing for this, 50% of your flask is recovered instantly, and that's how you sustain your mana. For life, what you sustain it with is Eternal Youth. So Eternal Youth, life recovery from flask applies to Energy Shield instead. So all the instant recovery for your flask is going to go into your ES, and that's how you keep your ES topped up, right? And if you don't take damage for life for a while, you will recharge, which is what happens during boss fights. And also in the middle of boss fights, if you, for example, find that you have too much flask pressure, let's say you have only a couple of charges left in your flask, and you're struggling to keep pressing them to save yourself from like, you notice the fight I did. I'm not playing perfectly. I made a lot of mistakes, but I don't get punished as severely because I can rely on alternate sources of recovery. So let's say if Xesht is chasing me around, I have a phase where I can't really do anything other than run. I'm going to pick up all these things on the floor. I'm going to pick up the mana, I'm going to pick up the purple, which is more damage, as well as the life if I need to, right? And that will set me up for the next DPS phase and give me like everything topped up. So those are the 2 main sources of recovery for this build. It has a layer of mitigation, which is not too bad, better than nothing, and that is evasion. So evasion is like one of the strongest mitigation layers right now. It's very easy for you to hit at least 65% evasion, and you can also, once you've invested somewhat, you can hit like 80% pretty easily. So right now I'm like 79-80%, and that's about 11k evasion, which is not that much, but still pretty substantial, right? Given the fact that I have other defenses as well, like 4.5k life. Hit pool. So with these 2 things, that's how you build your defenses. The way you build defenses is you're pathing a lot to this side. You need to path here to get Mind Over Matter, and then all of the strong ES nodes, which are these ones as well as these ones. All the hybrid nodes are also really strong because they give you like 2 in 1. Like this one gives you 24 evasion, 24 energy shield. That's a lot of value. So even if I'm not pathing anywhere with this, I'm still gonna get this, right? Same thing here. Yeah, well, no, that's pretty much the end of the build. There is some crit scaling involved here. I think the good thing is that most players don't actually feel like crit is worth investing into, so none of them have bought up crit based gear, but you can actually stack a pretty sizable amount of crit multi. So for devs, hop setup, you really get 67% crit damage multi for free, and you can like get up to, I'll show you exactly what my crit multi is. My crit multi is plus 6 to 5%, which is I do a 725% total multiplier on damage whenever I crit, and I crit about 1/5 of the time, right? Close to 1/5 of the time. And I'm getting a crit chance mainly from this. The bow crit chance is pretty low, it's 5, but you're gonna get 1 base crit chance off here, right? And then you're gonna get a lot of crit chance from your tree itself, like here. Sorry, here is the crit chance, here's the crit chance. Yeah, and here's crit chance. So yeah, that's how I scale crit, and that's how I get up to 90% crit chance as well as 625% crit multiplier. That's where my damage is coming from. Alright, if you don't go crit, there is a way. You can actually go here. Let's say for example, if you're not playing a monk and you're playing like more like a ranger, there is lucky lightning. So not lightning with non-critical hits is lucky. This is really strong for lightning damage because lightning damage has a very huge range for them, and lucky basically gives you almost like a 60% to 70% more damage. That's if you don't crit. But then again, in this case, if you do crit and you have a crit rate of 20%, which is a 7-time multiplier, I think it's kind of worthwhile to just go crit, right? Yeah. All in all, not much else I can do with the build. Maybe optimize a bit of pieces here and there. I'll have a bit more resistances when the patch notes come in. They will reduce the resistance penalty of tiered maps, and then I will have overcap on fire, so I can start dumping fire res here to get somewhere else. Maybe drop in on boots or gloves and get something nice. Oh, by the way, look at this corruption. I corrupted it for fun and I got blast on frenzy, but only good for like rangers. So, all right, yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Okay, so let me. I'm going to cover this here because I've never covered this in all my previous videos, and since this is going to be I think the end of everything, right? I'm not going to probably do more content on this build. I'm going to show you exactly what how gas arrow functions and how you play around it. So gas arrow works like this. You build up these gas clouds. They only explode when when a mob with ignite on them is walking through it, right? That triggers the explosion. So the way you trigger ignite is actually from the helm, primarily from your helm called Radiant Grief, right? But that is in a certain area. So right now in this area here, I will not trigger the explosions here if the mob is here, right? So I have to walk forward to the mob and blow it up. So what this sets up is that you can also use this as a mine. These are like mines because you can preload the boss, and the moment when it descends, it can't get ignited, correct? But the moment it gets ignited, it explodes all the gas clouds. So that's the reason why when I first started fighting Xesht, a whole portion of his life is just instantly disappearing because it blows up the preloads, right? Okay, next thing, if you want to hit a boss from a distance, correct, and you can't trigger with Radiant, and because let's say the arena is too toxic and you can't walk in, you can just drop Flame Wall and then use that to set up the ignite on the boss, right? That works too. Sometimes what I do is I will hit the boss at a distance, and then I roll in and it will explode, and that triggers the damage, right? So yeah, you can also do that. If you notice, I'm also pressing this button. This is called electrocuting arrow. Whenever a damage phase starts, before I can actually do damage to him, I will usually move to him, and then while moving him, I'm preloading him with gas clouds. And once the gas clouds ignite, it may stagger him, and I'll just jump over him and do this. This sets him up with an electrocution rod or something. I can't remember what the name for it is. Let me read it to you. Leap forward in the air and fire downwards, hitting an enemy will attach an electrocuting rod to them, causing all incoming lightning damage to build up electrocution. So that means all the damage I'm doing with lightning from my gas arrows, all the insane damage I'm doing, is also contributing to electrocuting to electrocution, right? And when electrocution triggers, you notice there's a meter next to the boss that goes up to 100%. The moment it hits 100%, he gets disabled for 4 seconds. He doesn't do anything, right? Which gives me a considerable damage phase to actually dump damage to him. So this is really strong. It's also good for kiting. So let's say, for example, he's doing a slam and I'm shooting like this, and if he wants to shoot, I will do this and go behind him, and he can't turn around fast enough, and that allows me to kite and also do utility at the same time. Alright, yeah, so this is pretty much a 3-button build. Most of it is spamming gas arrows and positioning yourself, and then you press electrocuting arrow when you feel that there's an opportunity to do so. Electrocuting arrow has a duration on it. Also, electrocuting arrow, once you use up the electrocution, let's say you use it up already, and he's electrocuted, you have to apply it again, otherwise you can't build that electrocution. I don't think you can build out electrocution as well while he's electrocuted, so you have to wait for it to wear out, and then when he starts to attack again, you apply it, and then you continue doing damage. Alright, that's all there is to this build. Just want you to know that this is probably the best builds I've seen in POE2 for two reasons. It's not the best in terms of the late game scaling. I think there are like way stronger builds for that. Like Archmage is extremely strong at the late game. I don't think many builds can beat Archmage. But the thing is that this build can start at a non-existent budget and scale up to this level, right? Archmage requires you to like go through a couple of initial very high hoops before you get to a point where you're comfortable, and a lot of the pieces are now very expensive, so a lot of the key pieces of it are very expensive. In this case here, a lot of the key pieces of your build are extremely cheap. Death's Harp is cheap, Radiant Grief is cheap, Rondo of Fragility is cheap. The only things really expensive is when you start scaling flat on the rings, which is Ingenuity and then your Breach rings. You can just go with a normal ring, like I got rings like these, which was what I was using to level up. And then instead of Ingenuity, you just go for a utility belt or a defensive belt, and you still have enough damage. I think even without the ring setup and without this belt and without the two rings, you would still hit a pretty decent amount of DPS. Like enough to do T15s, right? You could probably push from start of eggs all the way into T15s without much of a hiccup, without all the extra scaling, right? Just because of how great this skill setup is. All right. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I may do another build. I am thinking about it. Probably will take a break. PoE has been a fun experience, but at the same time, it has taken a lot out of me in the sense that, you know, I have work to do as well and other responsibilities other than PoE. I'll probably take a break, and if I do find another build that I'm interested in building, I will go into that. I still have quite a bit of currency left. I bought a bunch of items in preparation for that other build, but you know, we'll see. All right, hope to see you guys around, and bye.